Good day, folks. Thank you for joining us here at Your Health. You know, psychologists tell us that one of our greatest fears is that we will lose our mental capabilities as we age. Today on Your Health, Dr. Stephen Masley joins us. He's written a beautiful new book called The Better Brain Solution. This book is all about how to preserve your brain power all the way into your senior years. Very useful information. And you know, there's a silver lining to this approach. What helps the brain helps the rest of the body. So this is holistic medicine, but we're focusing on brain matters today. First, let's go to our news. Let's see what's happening in the health world. 1/3 of adult onset diabetics do not take their medication as prescribed. Researchers from the University of Surrey reviewed 48 studies involving 1.6 million type 2 diabetics. They found over 30% of diabetics did not take prescribed metformin due to gastrointestinal side effects. Metformin is the most commonly prescribed diabetes medication worldwide. The study was published by Diabetes, Obesity, and Metabolism. Related research from the Center for Disease Control finds about 90% of all American adults do not eat the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables daily. Plant-based diets are well known to both prevent and successfully manage adult-onset diabetes. When medications are prescribed, the ideal outcome is the patient takes their medication and the health condition is either cured or managed successfully. Well, this is not happening in diabetes management. We learned that when the adult onset diabetic, fully 1/3 of all patients do not take the most commonly prescribed medication for their diabetes, and that's metformin. They do this due to side effects. And it's not just metformin. Other diabetes drugs show high non-compliance profiles as well. Now, non-compliance with prescribed therapies is typically viewed by healthcare personnel as a failure of the patient. You know, it's the notion that if the patient would just take their meds, everything would work out fine. But the truth is, medication non-compliance is just as much a failure of our medical system, including doctors and their medications, as it is failure of the patient. Metformin, for example, is well known to have significant gastrointestinal side effects, especially early on, as many get intestinal upset that may be severe. This usually passes with time, but not always. So a little warning to the patient would help them endure the difficult initial phase of metformin therapy. But what really bothers me is that so many of our diabetics are never told of side effect-free therapies such as eating a plant-based diet complete with 1 to 2 cups of fruits and 2 to 3 cups of vegetables daily, along with getting more exercise and taking dietary supplements. These measures alone are capable of completely controlling over 50% of all type 2 diabetics. And if diet alone is not enough, and medications are required to properly manage glucose levels, the patient will require less medication and hence fewer side effects. And of course, better compliance, and that's the whole point of this. So yes, poor compliance is also a doctor failure. Folks, many of the complications of diabetes are irreversible. Your one true chance of success is the prevention of blindness, kidney failure, and mental decline. To achieve this, diet, exercise, and smart supplementation is required from day one. Persistent anxiety may be an early indicator of future Alzheimer's disease. Researchers from Brigham and Women's Hospital evaluated 270 seniors ages 62 to 90. They conducted extensive imaging and neurologic testing. They found persistent anxiety is a common early indicator of future Alzheimer's disease. The study also found anxiety may precede the early cognitive impairment of dementia by more than 10 years. The study was published by the American Journal of Psychiatry. Related research from the American Geriatric Society finds cognitive training during the senior years helps to delay or even prevent dementia. Well, this is fascinating. One of the earliest signs that dementia or Alzheimer's disease may be in a patient's future is the emergence of persistent anxiety. Persistent anxiety is different than typical day-to-day stress-induced anxiety. Persistent anxiety continues even after a stressful event has passed. With persistent anxiety, emotional tumultuousness continues even though the bills have been paid and all the arguments have been settled. This type of anxiety is not based purely on the events of life, but rather it is due to a physiologic change in the brain. Persistent anxiety in this setting is thought to be due to the early accumulation of amyloid beta matter in the brain. Now, everyone has a little amyloid beta, but some unfortunate ones develop extraordinarily large amounts. These people go on to develop Alzheimer's disease. Early in the course of this beta amyloid accumulation, before our diagnostic tests can even detect the presence of Alzheimer's disease, the earliest symptoms of persistent anxiety emerge, heralding future dementia. Now, another recent study found getting lost is another early sign of future Alzheimer's. This pattern of getting lost also begins about 10 years before Alzheimer's can be diagnosed with scans and neurologic testing. Our second study finds training methods designed to promote optimal memory really do help stall the onset of dementia. This line of research is important because if Alzheimer's is diagnosed at this early stage, when persistent anxiety and getting lost first emerges, there's a true and real chance that dementia can be stalled and even prevented entirely. Prevention of dementia is key, as all treatments that seek to reverse existing Alzheimer's disease have to date failed, every one of them. Today on Your Health, our friend Stephen Masley joins us. This will be fun, folks. He's written a great book titled The Better Brain Solution. This book provides an easy-to-follow plan to help preserve your brain's power well into your senior years. Stay tuned to learn more.
May Savings Time is here again with our annual Cancer-Free Celebration.
Cindy and I would like to thank you for your continued support of our efforts here at Your Health Television and at BioInnovations.
We understand you must be very careful with your budget, so we're offering you the best prices of the year on many of your favorite supplements for the entire month of May. And shipping is free on all orders over $50 in the continental U.S.
Perhaps you've heard about many of these supplements and wondered if they'd help you. Now's a great time to give them a try.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrients and Noni Natural Skincare are up to 50% off. Aloha, Noni, and Acai are still half price by the case. And many other products you've grown to trust are up to 30% off.
May is a great time to stock up on your favorites.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
I'm Dr. Richard Becker, and this is Your Health at a Glance. Our health depends on the choices we make every day, and few conditions are as dependent on our choices as diabetes. So here is your daily diabetic checklist. Number 1, take your diet seriously every day. Eat lean protein and leafy vegetables. Number 2, sugars and starches raise blood glucose, so reduce them in your diet. Number 3, check your blood glucose and record the readings every day. Number 4, take your medication daily and don't skip. And number 5, try to exercise every day. It will help you take off weight, which will help your body regulate blood sugar better. If you are diabetic, this is your quick daily checklist that could make life better. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Dr. Richard Becker. Can you lower your risk of disease? The answer is yes. One way is by including fruit in your diet. Fruit contains valuable nutrients that can reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even some cancers.
We've searched the world and found 4 fruits we believe are among the best. Noni from Polynesia, acai from the Amazon, and 2 new ones, goji and mangosteen.
These 4 juices each have amazing properties that make them great additions to your nutritional plan. If you're a diabetic or have chronic pain, these juices will help you feel better and have more energy. Plus, they help with digestion.
Now you can experience the health-promoting benefits of all 4 in one convenient package we call the Fruits of the World 4-pack. And remember, it's 50% off by the case. Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. That number's 888-442-2128. Welcome back, everyone. It's such a blessing to be with you today, and we are so excited to have Dr. Stephen Masley back with us. You know him from his amazing books, The 30-Day Heart Tune-Up and SmartFat. Dr. Masley is a fellow of the American Heart Association, the American Academy of Family Physicians, and the American College of Nutrition. He's also the president of the Masley Optimal Health Center in St. Petersburg, Florida. Today, we're going to be talking about his newest book, The Better Brain Solution. This one is fantastic. Welcome, Dr. Masley. Thank you so much for coming back to be with us today.
And I'm so happy to be with you.
It's good to see you, Stephen. Let's talk a little bit about the brain. Now, I said in our introduction today that one of our most common fears is the notion that we may lose our mental faculties. This is a real threat, isn't it? Give us the numbers on it.
Well, it's serious because it's the most expensive disease today. We spend more money on memory loss than we do cancer or heart disease.
Wow.
And the rate is going to double in the next 12 to 15 years. So unless we change something, the rates are going up and up and up, and it looks catastrophic.
Why do you suppose it costs so much to care for the Alzheimer's, the dementia patient?
It's 24-hour care. I mean, I've seen this in my own family. I know how tough it is to have someone really lose their memory. I mean, they can't take care of themselves anymore. It's awful. And not only are it's hard on them, they become a burden on the people they love, and nobody wants that.
No. When we say dementia, is that just Alzheimer's, or are there other things?
Well, dementia could be because you've had a stroke. Dementia is you're disabled from cognitive dysfunction. Alzheimer's represents over 70% of it. And then there's some mixed cases. There's vascular from a stroke. Alzheimer's is basically, to say it simply, your brain has shrunk. So it's all of it is increasing. All the rates are increasing.
Yeah. Now, we know you from your 30-day Better Heart concept, which we love, and many of our viewers are putting those concepts to work. But you noted that while you were studying about the heart and preparing that book, you noticed a heart-brain connection. Tell us about that.
Well, in my clinic, we measure are you growing plaque in your arteries, but we also measure in all our patients their memory, their brain processing speed. And we've actually published studies and presented this at scientific medical meetings that one of the strongest predictors of losing your memory is that you're growing plaque in your arteries. And if you're shrinking plaque in your arteries, which hundreds of our patients have done, you're improving your brain speed. So there's an incredible connection between the brain and the heart, and the things that are good for your heart are also really good for your brain.
Do you feel that this age of specialization where we have brain doctors, heart doctors, tummy doctors, foot doctors, has that kind of slowed us down in our understanding of the total body? Perhaps?
I really agree with you. I think it has, because, you know, we're not supposed to be chopped up. We're one unit, one entity, and everything's connected like by a web. So it really should be, how do we connect all these parts together? And it's not too surprising that things that are good for your heart are good for your brain, your skin, and your bones too.
Of course, you're a family doctor like I was. And we could have a cancer patient, we could have a obstetrics patient, we could have a child next. So we're always thinking in the total body sense, aren't we?
Yeah, for me, it's just natural. I don't want to divide my patients up into parts.
I don't either.
I think of them as people that I care about.
Yeah. That's why you're here, brother. That's why you're here. You care about them. It matters.
Yes,
it matters.
It does.
Let's get into the better brain. How do we get our brain to be better well into our senior years?
Well, there's some simple steps we can take. So in our clinic, when we measure brain function and performance, we also looked at the food we eat, our nutrient intake, our fitness, how we handle stress, and toxin exposure. And we could actually learn from that database on over 1,000 patients what predicts
Would you
better
repeat
brain.
those things? Food,
nutrients, fitness, stress management, avoid toxins. 5 easy steps that has been shown to shrink artery plaque, but also improve our brain, make us mentally sharper, quicker, more productive, and prevent memory loss.
Now, you uncovered in your research insulin resistance, prediabetes, metabolic syndrome, weight gain is playing a major role in the development of dementia. And this is surprising to many of us. We've all heard that, yeah, I could end up being diabetic if I don't lose some weight, if I don't stop the sodas and the sweet stuff. But you're actually finding that this can lead to dementia when we eat too much sugar and gain weight?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really powerful. I mean, I think it's now irrefutable. The #1 cause for memory loss and heart disease and diabetes is this elevated blood sugar. It's insulin resistance. When we eat the wrong foods, the wrong activity, we corrupt our system for controlling blood sugar, and that's killing our brains.
How does that happen? Do we understand more about that?
Well, when I explain it to my patients, I like to say, you know, if we eat too many starches and refined carbs, like bread and rice and potatoes and sugar, we're constantly adding, and eventually our cells fill up. So insulin is the storage hormone. It tells our cells to store energy away and pack it away.
Yes.
But eventually, if we keep eating these foods, the cell fills up. It's like the hotel is full. There are no more rooms. There's no more place to store it. And the cells become resistant to that insulin storage message. They're full.
Okay.
Brain cells are special, though. When your brain cells start to fill up, they stop functioning. They're unable to utilize energy. So if you were to do a PET scan and measure someone's brain and look at glucose metabolism, how the brain cell burns energy, in a healthy person, it lights up like a Christmas tree. But in someone with insulin resistance, it's cold, it's dark. The cells aren't functioning. So when we eat too much sugar, we literally turn off our brain.
Oh, my goodness.
And over time, the brain cells start to die, and then our brain literally shrinks. We don't want a shrunken brain.
No. So let me get this straight. I think we've all heard of the notion that an out-of-control diabetic may have trouble with his vision, may have kidney problems, maybe even lose a toe or a foot. The damage to the tissues from high sugars. Are you saying that same type of damage occurs in the brain? That would happen in the toe or the pancreas?
Absolutely. And the brain's one of the most sensitive parts of the body. So one of the first things to go is brain function. People have depressed cognitive function early on when their blood sugar is only slightly elevated.
So you don't have to be a diabetic to have the damage from the sugars.
Long before you have diabetes, you're injuring and shrinking your brain.
Doctor, when you're out in public and you see every other person with a tankard of sweet sodas and a honey bun in the other hand, what do you think?
I'm terrified. Because I realize the seriousness of that. It's major to realize that when people are eating that, not only are they decreasing their cognitive performance, but they're killing their brain cells if that's a prolonged lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we've got to get the message out that that's really, you're hurting yourself in so many ways. I think people know it increases the risk for heart disease or, you know, as you said, losing a foot or a toe. They don't realize they're decreasing their cognitive performance and increasing their risk for memory loss.
Well, Dr. Masley, what about our children? Because we see what the food that they're eating in schools and also the lunches that are, you know, being prepared by mom. It's just what you mentioned. It's those foods that you're talking about.
Yes, and they have
what about
decades
kids?
more.
I mean, they don't have Alzheimer's, obviously. Kids don't have Alzheimer's, but what about insulin resistance?
They have ADD, they have decreased performance, they have decreased attention. So our data, when we've actually done this, we've randomized people to follow our program, we've done randomized clinical trials. Their brain processing speed improved by 25%. Their attention, their focus went up by 44%.
Oh my.
Folks, when we return from these important messages, we want to talk about the single most important thing you can do to help prevent this insulin resistance. We'll be right back.
Time is here again with our annual cancer-free celebration.
Cindy and I would like to thank you for your continued support of our efforts here at Your Health Television and at BioInnovations.
We understand you must be very careful with your budget, so we're offering you the best prices of the year on many of your favorite supplements for the entire month of May. And shipping is free on all orders over $50 in the continental U.S.
Perhaps you've heard about many of these supplements and wondered if they'd help you. Now's a great time to give them a try.
why.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrients and Noni Natural Skincare are up to 50% off. Aloha, Noni, and Acai are still half price by the case. And many other products you've grown to trust are up to 30% off.
May is a great time to stock up on your favorites.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. I'm Cindy Becker for Your Health at a Glance. Are you looking for a healthy replacement for sodas? For thousands of years, the Far East has enjoyed the many health benefits of green tea. Now the Western world has embraced this potent antioxidant for its many health benefits as both a drink and supplement. Green tea has been thoroughly researched. It's been shown to improve bone density and immunity, as well as levels of cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure. Research has also shown it to decrease inflammation and one's risk of cardiovascular disease and many forms of cancer. One recent study even found that people who drink 5 or more cups a day were 33% less likely to develop conditions that cause disability. For health, it is everyone's cup of tea. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
CoQ10 and L-carnitine are among the most important nutrients our bodies use for energy production. Deficiency in these key nutrients can cause serious complications to your health. In fact, statin drugs that are used to lower cholesterol may deplete your CoQ10 levels.
Bioinnovations brings you Dr. Becker's Bionutrients CoQ10 with L-carnitine. Now, providing support for cardiovascular health is easier than ever before.
CoQ10 and L-carnitine support a healthy heart naturally, as nature intended, and our formulation provides 300% greater absorption of CoQ10 than similar products, using a technology so effective it's patented.
Bioinnovations is the affordable source that you can trust for all your vitamin and supplement needs. Give us a call at 888-442-2128. That's 888-442-2128. Or order online at bioinnovations.net. We're back, everyone, having a fascinating discussion with Dr. Stephen Masley about this amazing new book, The Better Brain Solution. This one is amazing, and you know what? Everyone can read this. This is something for the layperson, for the professional. Everybody needs to get this book. I know I want to prevent insulin resistance as I age, and I know you do too. So we were talking about this insulin resistance as it affects to the brain and the body. And Richard said before the break, what is the single most important thing we can do to prevent insulin resistance?
Well, the single thing would be cutting out sugar and flour. Sugar and flour, they both cause our sugar levels to spike, and that causes our insulin to go up, and that's what promotes insulin resistance. So if we took that out and we ate more clean protein, vegetable fruit, beans and nuts, flavor it with some olive oil and a lot of nice spices and herbs, I mean, that would be delicious food, and we could reverse this.
Okay, so you're saying flour of all types? Just
whether
flour.
It's whole wheat flour, white flour, or sugar, if we actually measure the response to each of those, it's the same.
Yes.
People think that if they eat the nut flours, because so many foods are now prepared with nut flours like almond flour, etc., garbanzo flour,
Okay.
it doesn't have the same effect, does it?
Well, that's a really good point. So, like, if you're doing almond flour, it does not. It doesn't grind it up into something. So, in my patients, I say almond meal.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yes, so the nut flour. So in a recipe, that's what I use. When I'm looking at a recipe I want to try, if it says flour, I'll put in almond meal or almond flour.
Right.
And I think that's just fine. So that's a
Good.
really good point you made.
Good, good.
You know, doctor, I think many times when people hear these conversations, they think, I don't want to live a life of deprivation. You want me to live in a monastery or cloister myself and not have any pleasure from my food. But that's not what you're asking us to do, is it?
Oh, no. I love food. I went to chef training at the Four Seasons restaurant in Seattle. I really like to make delicious food.
I do, too.
And I enjoy eating it. My wife and I love to cook. It's our passion. And I want it easy to prepare, simple to make, delicious, but it's also got to nourish our heart, brain, and our soul. You know, I don't think God wanted us just to eat junk.
No,
of course not.
No.
We should respect our body and eat healthy food, but I absolutely want it to be delicious.
One of the other objections we often hear from discussions like this is, Doctor, I can't afford to go to the natural foods market and buy the super expensive organic and all that. I just can't afford it. Can we do this on a budget?
Yeah, I mean, frozen vegetables are really inexpensive, and they have the same nutrition as fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little more expensive to buy grass-fed, organically raised beef. That is true, but you could just eat it less often and it wouldn't be so much. You know, you can add more bean dishes. You know, fruit, you can use frozen berries. They don't have to be fresh blueberries. Frozen blueberries are actually really nice to cook with. You can make desserts with them. And, you know, they have the same nutritional value. So you can do this on a budget.
One of the things I think it's important to underline is that we have to become more involved in the preparation of our food. We can't expect other people to prepare healthy foods for us. That can be done, but you know what I'm saying?
That's part of it. I mean, you can almost order a salad with protein on it almost anywhere and put on some, you know, olive oil and vinegar dressing. So that you can even get in a fast food place. But generally speaking, I totally agree with you that we need to do more food preparation ourselves and eat unprocessed food the way nature made it.
You know, I had a thought the other day. When you're eating processed foods, in effect, you're allowing a machine to chew your food for you. Right? You're kind of chewing it for you, isn't it?
It's kind
like
of
that.
pre-digested.
Pre-digested
kind of a gross
food.
way of thinking about
So it slides down easy, and before you know it, you ate way too much, and then we have this insulin resistance. Isn't that something? Do you think food additives, preservatives, coloring agents, flavor enhancers, do you think they make this insulin resistance worse? Do you think there could be a connection
they do.
there?
Like when we, you know, foods that come in BPA-lined cans, just 2 servings a week can increase your risk of diabetes by 20%. Phthalates that come from plastic, you know, they make you more insulin resistant. So many of these chemicals and additives are pro-diabetes. They worsen insulin resistance.
So eating organic is a good idea here.
Organic is a really good idea, but even if you can't afford to buy everything organic or can't find it, that's less important. You know, we really just focus on more vegetable, fruit, beans and nuts, clean protein, olive oil, spices, and it's not really that hard.
Yes.
Right. But it's using unprocessed food. If the shelf life is like 10 years, hello,
Not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. It shouldn't last that long.
No, it shouldn't. You know, there are a lot of myths associated with the development of dementia, a lot of misinformation. Our culture's full of misinformation today. What are some of these myths? And let's set the record straight.
Well, one of the myths would be, you know, for Alzheimer's disease is that you can't change your destiny. If your parents have it, you're going to get it. And we know that's not true.
Well, see, that's a concern of mine because there's Alzheimer's in my father's family. And I'm paying attention now, so go on.
So I believe we can prevent at least, minimally, 60% of diabetes and up to 90%.
Well, much?
At least 60%. Just from getting rid of insulin resistance would get rid of 60%. And if we follow all 5 steps, the fitness, the stress management, the toxin, well, I think we can avoid up to 90% of dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
So this APO, say that gene now? With
ApoE4?
ApoE4. Explain that to me, because this is the family pattern of Alzheimer's. And I know a lot of people watching right now in the 2 minutes we have here before the break, well, that runs in my family. I'm doomed, so I'm going to do what I want and have fun while I can.
No, but it's much more important to follow this. So my wife's family has the ApoE4 gene. This is very important to me. I read of this all the time. And I think the data is very good that if you follow something like the Better Brain Solution, you can prevent that. There are specific things you do need to do. You benefit more from fish oil. You benefit more from activity. So there's things that we need to do maybe a little differently than an average person, but I think all the material's there to make a huge difference and protect people. We're not doomed.
Yeah. Okay, what about medication use and controlling diabetes? As long as I take my pill, I'm okay. That's a myth, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, all the pills do slow our demise. I'm not against a diabetic and putting him on medication, but if they followed this program, the Better Brain Solution, we've helped thousands of people reverse type 2 diabetes, not need medication, have normal blood sugar, and reverse insulin resistance. So this program can make that kind of major transformation.
Okay, how about all I really need to do is jog 2 miles every other day and I can eat whatever I want. Is that enough to prevent dementia?
No, not even close. I mean, think about a table with 4 legs on it. You got one solid leg, but the other 3 are broken.
Yeah,
the table's gonna fall. So yeah, it's good they're active.
Okay, I have a great supplement plan. That allows me, I take my fish oil and my B vitamins, and I'm not going to get dementia, so I can do what I want. True, false?
False. It is one of the things, it is one of the major pillars you should do. Yeah. Absolutely, we should take a good quality supplement, our fish oil, our vitamin D, but you also need to do the other steps.
When we return, let's talk about blood pressure control and dementia. Is it really that important? We'll be right back.
Savings time is here again with our annual cancer-free celebration.
Cindy and I would like to thank you for your continued support of our efforts here at Your Health Television and at BioInnovations.
We understand you must be very careful with your budget, so we're offering you the best prices of the year on many of your favorite supplements for the entire month of May. And shipping is free on all orders over $50 in the continental U.S.
Perhaps you've heard about many of these supplements and wondered if they'd help you. Now's a great time to give them a try.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrients and Noni Natural Skincare are up to 50% off. Aloha, Noni, and Acai are still half price by the case. And many other products you've grown to trust are up to 30% off.
May is a great time to stock up on your favorites.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. I'm Cindy Becker for Your Health at a Glance. Do you remember the questions you wanted to ask your doctor after you've left the doctor's office? That's happened to me, so here's my strategy to get ready for a doctor visit. If it's a first-time appointment, be sure your medical records arrive ahead of you. The doctor can review your history quickly. This leaves more time for discussion. For every visit, write down your questions at home. Include a list of medications you take. When you arrive, fill out the medical history forms concisely and accurately. Attach a copy of your questions with the forms so the doctor is aware of your questions before he or she steps into the exam room. Bring a friend for support and have a notepad to take notes. Before you leave, have all your prescriptions. And here's hoping you don't go to the doctor very often. With Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
Every day, about 200 million Americans do not get enough of a key essential mineral.
That mineral is magnesium. The typical American diet does not supply enough.
And magnesium is so important. It protects bones and helps more than 300 different enzymes in the human body perform efficiently.
That's why BioInnovations offers chelated magnesium capsules for oral use and topical magnesium gel to be applied to the skin. That's 2 forms of magnesium to meet your daily needs.
Scientific evidence points to chelation as the best method of vitamin and mineral formulation.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health.
Because chances are you are one of the 200 million Americans who need more magnesium every day.
Again, that number is 888-442-2128. Call today. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. We're back, everyone, having a great and informative discussion with our friend, Dr. Stephen Masley. Isn't this amazing information? We're talking about the Better Brain Solution. We have a great special for you today. With your purchase of a case of Noni, you know how it goes, whichever one you want, the organic, the regular, or the concentrate, you're going to get a copy of this book free. So don't miss that one. Get an extra set so you can put a copy of this in your physician's hands. That's how we're going to change health in this America is we are going to teach our doctors, right? And it's up to you and me to do that, because the doctors aren't taught that in medical school, were you, honey?
No, we have to learn this on our own. It's getting better, I think. It's getting better.
But anyway, so Dr. Masley, we were talking about the concept that maybe the Alzheimer's medications don't work so well. Is that true?
You are right. None of the 200 FDA-approved medications for memory loss, not a single one has been shown to slow the progression of the disease. And the latest one that was in the pipeway that was coming, they just dropped it right off the market because it wasn't working.
I heard about that.
So none of the medications work.
And they have side effects.
And they have many side effects, but lifestyle works. The 5-step letter brain solution.
I don't think
makes a
people
difference.
Realize the impact of that state. What you just said about these medicines not working. I don't think, we are a drug and medication culture.
For our cholesterol, for our blood pressure, for anything, we're thinking, okay, there's a medication.
Why do they not work?
It's a multiple complicated process. And if you keep eating sugar and you're inactive and you don't meet your nutrients and you're all stressed out, they don't have a chance.
Then, Dr. Masley, they're going to more than likely at some point in the progression of Alzheimer's, they're going to be in a long-term facility, because that, you know, it just is how it has to be. And so then the food that they're fed, you know, they're going to have their cheesecake every Tuesday and their lemon pie every Thursday, et cetera, et cetera.
Just makes them worse.
So is that why? Because we're keeping the insulin resistance going on in the brain? Is that why?
We're just making it worse.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Before the break, we talked about blood pressure and dementia. And I think this connection of high blood pressure, it kind of goes with the metabolic syndrome, doesn't it?
It does. They're very intimately
connection.
connected. Blood sugar, I mean, if you think about salt or sugar, which has the biggest impact on blood pressure, it's sugar, far more than salt.
But we tell all our patients, it's the salt you have to avoid. Be careful with the salt. And we should be careful with salt, but
we shouldn't go overboard, but sugar is a much bigger issue for our blood pressure.
So tell us about this blood pressure effect on the brain. When it's too high, not good, huh?
Well, I think it's part of the whole, if your blood pressure is high, you're growing plaque and your brain is shrinking. Yeah. So there's that, again, that very strong connection between blood pressure, plaque growth, brain shrinkage. They're intimately related. And the thing they have in common is sugar. And the same foods that are good for your heart and your arteries and your blood pressure are also really good for your brain.
Let's talk a little bit about the impact of dementia from whatever cause on family, loved ones, caregivers. We get many calls from our viewers who are caregivers for dementia, Alzheimer's, cancer patients, and they are just worn out. Is this a common phenomenon?
It's very common. Remember, 50% of baby boomers have insulin resistance. That means they're all high risk for memory loss. 30% of all adults, but 50% of baby boomers. So this is super common. Again, memory loss is the most expensive disease today. It's a horrible toll on caregivers. I mean, they're working 24/7. It's very stressful. It's killing them. It killed my father-in-law, died caring for my wonderful mother-in-law. I mean, they were lovely people, wonderful people. Yeah. And her Alzheimer's killed him at the end, caring for her 24/7 until she died. He died shortly thereafter. So, I mean, it's awful to watch.
It is. What are some of the early signs that you may have this caregiver burnout syndrome we hear about?
Well, your energy, your drive drops, and you start becoming more forgetful yourself. You know, why did I walk into a room? What's someone's name? Having to reread a passage in a book. Depression. You know, those are all related to, and, you know, high levels of stress. When you're really stressed out, your cortisol levels are high, and high cortisol shrinks your memory center.
You know, sometimes I will hear a family member who is trying to help a cognitively impaired patient, early Alzheimer's, and they correct them. And they say, honey, you just asked about that. And I'm thinking from the perspective of the patient, they know they're having troubles, and yet they're being scolded. Talk about that a little.
It's such an important point, because my mother-in-law actually pointed this out to me beautifully.
Yes.
She just said, I know I'm losing my memory, but you don't have to remind me. And that was so beautiful, and it really meant a lot to me. And so what I learned was, I didn't ask her what she had for lunch that day. I would talk about things in the past that were 20 years ago that she could remember, and she could have joy. And I didn't remind her or scold her because, okay, I've just told you for the third time.
Right.
You know, so no, we shouldn't. Those are little, and we actually I have tips for that on how to do better for that in the Better Brain Solution.
Yeah, there's so many good things in this book. So, in other words, you can't talk a person out of dementia.
No, but you could shop for them. I mean, if you're a caregiver, you could use this book really to help buy the right food. When you go shopping, what's the shopping list you buy? What do you not put in your cart? Getting them active, getting the right nutrients, because that's so important. Helping them, prayer time, you know, prayer or meditation to calm and get the cortisol levels down. All of these things are helpful. So whether it's you suffering from memory loss or you're a caregiver, this program can make a wonderful transformation in someone's life.
In our news today, we talked about some of the absolute earliest signs and indicators that cognitive impairment is coming. Getting lost in familiar places, persistent anxiety, frequent daytime naps. If we're seeing this happen, what should our 1, 2, 3 steps be before we go to our break?
Eat the right food, meet your key nutrient needs, manage your stress, be active. I'd put 4 right away.
So get proactive. Do something about it.
And you can improve your brain function by over 25% and prevent memory loss.
All right. Folks, we're headed to a break, but when we return, let's talk about superfoods that will make a difference in your brain power. We'll be back. Is your life out of balance? It may be. The average American consumes far too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s. This creates an imbalance.
So what can we do to get back in balance? We can eat a healthy diet.
And most of us need to supplement with omega-3 rich fish oil. Fish oil contains omega-3s with DHA and EPA, fatty acids that promote good brain and heart health. So reduce omega-6 in your nutritional plan and boost omega-3 to get back in balance.
To help you do that, BioInnovations offers 2 products, the Fish Oil Complex and Omega 369, both formulated for your health and well-being. So how do you choose? For highest levels of DHA and EPA, choose the Fish Oil Complex. For a balanced formula, choose the 369. Go online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. Here is our hope for you today. I'm Cindy Becker. In the epic movie Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara says she won't think about her problems today or she'll go crazy. She'll think about them tomorrow. How should we think about tomorrow in our lives? In Matthew 6, verse 33, we get advice about tomorrow. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. It's so difficult to not worry about the future. Many of us catastrophize about the future. That's spending all your time thinking about all the catastrophes that might happen. So let tomorrow worry about itself. That way, we won't miss the wonderful things happening in our lives right now. I'm Cindy Becker. This is our hope for you today. May Savings Time is here again with our annual cancer-free celebration.
Cindy and I would like to thank you for your continued support of our efforts here at Your Health Television and at BioInnovations.
We understand you must be very careful with your budget, so we're offering you the best prices of the year on many of your favorite supplements for the entire month of May. And shipping is free on all orders over $50 in the continental U.S.
Perhaps you've heard about many of these supplements and wondered if they'd help you. Now's a great time to give them a try.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrients and Noni Natural Skincare are up to 50% off. Aloha, Noni, and Acai are still half price by the case. And many other products you've grown to trust are up to 30% off.
May is a great time to stock up on your favorites.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. We're back, everyone, having a fascinating discussion with Dr. Masley. This is such important, timely information, isn't it? We're talking about the Better Brain Solution. And to help you get a copy of this book today, I want to remind you not to forget this one. With your purchase of a case of Noni, whichever one you want, the organic, the regular, or the concentrate, you're going to get a copy of this book free. So don't miss that one. Dr. Masley, this is, I just can't tell you how important this information is. I mean, I didn't really think about brain cognitive impairment until I started getting a little bit older myself, but it is so important. So we always say on the show, and in our lives too, we start everything with our diet. Yes. I mean, we totally believe in dietary supplements and having a complete supplement plan, but that's not where you start. You start with your diet. The others just support. So what would we want to do for this, to help with this insulin resistance?
Well, there's specific foods that really protect our brain, especially plant foods with pigment, like green leafy vegetables. If you eat a cup of green leafies a day, your brain would be 11 years younger than someone who doesn't. 11
years. That's
pretty,
worth doing. I like salad anyway.
And blueberries and cherries, that purple-red pigment, also protect your brain. Dark chocolate protects your brain. Green tea, that pigment in the green tea. So there's certain plant pigments that are super important.
That's all in the book, right?
It's all in the book.
All outlined.
And the recipes, and how to shop and buy them. And they can be fresh or frozen. But also we need smart fats, because our brain is mostly fat by weight. It's 40% fish oil by weight. So we really do want good, clean fat, like avocado and olive oil and nuts. Studies have shown if people follow a low-fat diet versus more olive oil or nuts, low fat, they have accelerated memory loss. Their brain improves when you give them more olive oil and nuts.
So it's the right kind of fat.
The right kind of fat.
Not these trans fats.
Definitely not trans fat. I mean, really, we're talking avocado, olive oil, nuts, wild salmon. Those are the kind of fats we want to add more of. And then spices and herbs, they're anti-inflammatory, especially Italian herbs, like Italian herb seasoning, or curry spices, especially turmeric.
Turmeric, that's one of our favorites.
Really powerful in protecting your brain.
You know, that's one of the spices, the curcumin extract, turmeric. You take that, I feel a difference. I feel like I'm getting more blood to my head. That's the feeling I get.
And my joints feel better. I take curcumin every day.
Yes, that's amazing stuff. I love that stuff. So the foods to avoid. Now, we mentioned trans fats.
Trans fat, sugar, and flour.
Sugar and flour.
Those are the primary
Keep the blood sugar down. Keep it down.
Yeah.
What is a normal blood sugar? What is it?
Less than 95, usually in the 75 to 90.
Okay.
That's a normal blood sugar. An average American blood sugar is 95 to 100. That's already elevated. And after 100, well, now you're pre-diabetic. You're really injuring your brain and your arteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not waiting until we have diabetes. It's way before you have diabetes. You're shrinking your brain and you're growing plaque.
What are some of the key vitamins, nutrients, proteins? How do we support, construct a dietary supplement plan for us here quickly?
Well, more vegetable fruit, beans and nuts, clean protein, olive oil, nuts. I mean, that's really the basis.
What about the B vitamins?
And then to supplement that, we need B vitamins like folic acid, mixed folates, B12.
Mixed folates? What? I've heard of folic acid, folate, but what do you mean by the mixed folates?
Well, 40% of people don't convert folic acid to the most active form. Okay. So for them, it's really important, you know, looking at mixed folates. Now, you can get it from eating beans and green leafies, but if you're not eating those, you want all the folates, like 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. That's what folic acid is converted to in its active form.
So the fortified flours may not be enough for those who do not convert to these active
Correct.
folates.
For 40% of the population.
That much, 40%. What happens to these people who do not convert? What's the consequence?
Well, the consequence is they're nutritionally deficient and they're hurting their brains. And it's so easy just to make sure we eat the right foods or get us the right supplement.
Does this have to do with the homocysteine stuff?
Exactly.
Yes.
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 And then we need vitamin D. I mean, that's so essential to get it. I think almost everybody needs at least 2,000 international units of vitamin D, at least every day.
What are some of your favorite supplements to help control the blood sugar? Let's say we are diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Magnesium.
Magnesium
Would be number one. I mean, it helps your blood pressure too, and it increases your brain speed and connectivity between brain cells. So magnesium, the B vitamins, as you mentioned, vitamin D, a probiotic to help the inflammation in our gut. So, you know, and fish oil. I think fish oil also improves your blood sugar levels. Chromium, which should also be in a multi. All of those are essential, but it's not that hard. You know, a good quality multivitamin. Make sure there's enough vitamin D with it or take a little extra. Fish oil, a probiotic, magnesium, boom. I mean, to me, those are the slam dunk, absolute, nobody should be deficient in those.
We have neglected something, doctor.
Yes.
The hormone effect on dementia. Quickly, in the last minute or so, tell us about dropping hormones with menopause, lowering testosterone levels. This is playing a role in our dementia as well.
It is. I mean, when our hormones drop, many people have cognitive dysfunction, and it makes their memory, cognitive function worse. So supporting them with bioidentical hormones can also be really important.
Yeah.
For men and women.
So men have more dementia than women, right?
Maybe a little sooner. I think if we live long enough, it's pretty similar.
Well, the point I'm trying to make that the menopausal years can have a profound effect on our mentation.
It does, yeah. Clearly, it can impact cognitive performance and sleep. If you can't sleep, well, that doesn't help either.
Yes, the sleep. Is melatonin something that could help? You know, if we're having trouble sleeping and we're losing our melatonin production, is this something?
Especially as we get older. You know, melatonin production tends to drop.
I feel better when I sleep well. I feel sharper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we need sleep to have a rebooted brain.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, let's go to our break. We'll be back for the wrap-up.
Savings time is here again with our annual cancer-free celebration.
Cindy and I would like to thank you for your continued support of our efforts here at Your Health Television and at BioInnovations.
We understand you must be very careful with your budget, so we're offering you the best prices of the year on many of your favorite supplements for the entire month of May. And shipping is free on all orders over $50 in the continental U.S.
Perhaps you've heard about many of these supplements and wondered if they'd help you. Now's a great time to give them a try.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrients and Noni Natural Skincare are up to 50% off. Aloha, Noni, and Acai are still half price by the case. And many other products you've grown to trust are up to 30% off.
May is a great time to stock up on your favorites.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. I'm Cindy Becker, and this is Your Health at a Glance. Are you following a low-fat diet? While it's true that too much fat makes us overweight, certain types of fat are actually good for us. Add to your diet omega-3 fats such as fish and flaxseed oil, and omega-9 oleic acid found in olive oil. And reduce in your diet omega-6 found in corn, safflower, and peanut oil, and saturated fats found in meats and whole milk dairy products. Studies show those fats can promote inflammation and chronic disease. The Mediterranean diet can help you make good choices, such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean meats, fish, olives, and olive oil. So remember, increase omega-3 and omega-9 fats. Reduce omega-6 and saturated fat. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
Different people have different vitamin and mineral needs. That's why Dr. Becker's Bionutrients multiple vitamin and mineral powders come in 4 different blends.
That's right. When it comes to vitamins, no one formula is right for everyone. For those who don't get enough vegetables in their diet, there's the Organic Green Blend with 3 servings of vegetables in every tablespoon.
And for those looking for a boost of fruit and berry phytonutrients, there's the Berry Blend with 3 servings of fruit in every tablespoon.
And don't forget the Active Adult Blend with extra B vitamins, calcium, and added cofactors like ginkgo and CoQ10.
Plus, we've designed a multiple for those with allergies called the Low Allergy Rice Blend.
Whatever your unique needs are, BioNutrients has a multiple vitamin that's just right for you. Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Your Health is brought to you by BioInnovations, trusted products for your health and well-being. We're back, everyone. I was just looking at Dr. Masley's book during the break. This is just amazing. He has a complete set of recipes in the back of the book. Amazing. My new favorite food is curry, so I asked him, do you have a curry recipe in here? And here is a Thai coconut curry soup. Fantastic to keep your brain healthy. Wow. Well, I've got to figure out a way to get you this book, The Better Brain Solution, so we have a really good special today. With your purchase of a case of noni, whichever one you want, organic, regular, or concentrate, you're going to get the book. So don't miss it. I know time is short, Dr. Masley. It feels like we just got started talking about all of this information. It's so important. Wow. So what else did you want to cover?
Well, there's food is so important. You can't underestimate it. Nutrients, you've got to have them. Activity, we do need to get moving. But I think something people forget about is that it just takes a few minutes of peace and calm each day, of either meditation or prayer time, to really lower our cortisol levels and protect our brain. And that's an essential part of this program.
Doctor, what would you say to someone who has just watched this program and they're excited about the potential of your plan, and they go to their doctor to discuss how they're going to change their life, and the doctor says, well, I don't know about all that nutrition stuff. If you're going to get Alzheimer's, you're going to get it. Right. What would you say to that person who has met that wall?
You don't need that message. I mean, it's so frustrating. But here's the good news. I've spoken at over 20 years, it's over 30,000 physicians. There's actually a decent chance that if you show this book to your doctor, that they'll know me from published articles, from CME events, medical education events, and there's over 200 references in this book. Give them the book, tell them to look through the references, and we need to educate our doctors. It's all of our responsibility. When patients give me a book, I'll read it. So I'd suggest giving the book to the doctor and look it up.
It's not hocus pocus.
No.
This is science in action, science in the art of medicine.
But Richard, this is hope.
It is hope.
I mean,
That's the bottom line.
From
That's
having
good,
Alzheimer's in our families, we see, and in friends, I mean, I understand the despair. And the idea that even if they already are established Alzheimer's, that they can improve brain function by 25%.
That's amazing.
That gives hope.
And a regular person can be sharper, quicker, more productive, feel better, have more energy, better quality of life. And this same program's been shown to help prevent diabetes and heart disease, too.
Right.
It is still important. The sooner we get on this, the better, though.
It's
Can't wait
never
too long.
too early, and it's never too late.
Never too late for improvement. So one of the thoughts I'd like to leave you with, folks, is when we study nutrition and quality of life, we really can't use the same methods that we study a drug. We have to be all-inclusive, and it's individualistic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We doctors don't treat a mass of 10,000. We treat individual patients, and that's how you live your life. That's how you find joy. It's how you find God. It's how you are a success. You do it individually. I want to give you the courage to make these changes. I encourage you to find the strength to improve your diet and make a difference in your health. Thank you for joining us, folks. We'll see you tomorrow right here.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hippocrates once said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food." So why do 9 out of 10 of us not eat enough vegetables daily? It's because we don't always know how to incorporate this practice into our busy lives. Instead of removing bad foods, start by adding healthier foods you prefer. You'll soon discover better foods you love will crowd out unhealthy cravings. It's not crazy, just healthy.
is changing. You watch it on television every day. It's unbelievable. It's unthinkable.
Today on Love a Child, we are helping people. No matter what is going on all around the world and all the bad reports you hear, there's good reports happening here. God raised you up